Okay, we've got it everywhere. One of my phones has officially decided to stop working, so we can't go live quite everywhere, but we're doing what we can because that is what the fuck we do here. So, as you tune in, I hope you are having an absolutely incredible, what day is it today? Tuesday. I hope you're having an absolutely incredible Tuesday. Let me know how it's gone as you tune in. If you're tuning in on the replay after we're done, make sure to drop a comment and let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching on the replay. Because more and more and more, guys, I want to make sure that I address this more and more and more. I'm getting people reaching out, talking about, things that they've implemented from this show, things that they're doing now because of what I'm talking about on here. And, that's a super fucking cool feeling. Like, I love hearing that shit. I love hearing when people are getting benefit from, tuning in and listening to me talk. The goal of this show, if you've tuned into it before, the goal of this show is to help athletes reach better versions of themselves in their athletic career and build their dream careers in sport. That is what we are all about. And this past weekend, I got to dig into so much more about why I love doing this so much and why I'm so passionate about this. And that is something that I'm going to be touching on a lot more in this show. And one prime example today, we're going to be talking about the number one focus you need in your athletic career in order to be successful. So if you are an athlete tuning into this right now, make sure to let me know what kind of competitions you've got coming up. And then make sure to share the show before we start. Make sure to share the show with a friend, a coach, a teammate, anyone that you know is going to need to hear this message, because we drop fucking fire here. If you've been on the show before, if you've tuned into the show before, you know the deal. You know there's a lot of value to be had here, and you know that you are not the only one who needs to hear it. So share it around. Make sure that you are not hogging all of the value to yourself. And now let's get it going. So we're going to be talking about the number one focus that you need to have as an athlete in order to be successful in your career. So let's get into the show now in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the number one show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dusseault, and today we are going to be talking about the number one thing you need to focus on in order to build your dream career in sport. Now, before we get into it, I want to apologize in advance if my voice doesn't quite sound great. I'm not sick or anything. I was at a business coaching event over the weekend, and it was absolutely incredible. I learned a ton about myself, a ton about my next steps in my company, and a ton about just more and more value that I can bring to, all the athletes that I have the opportunity to work with every day. So super, super excited about that. But that is why I sound a little bit dead this evening. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about the number one thing you need to be focused on if you want to build a successful athletic career. Now, I know as soon as I say that, I'm going to have a lot of people coming in saying, oh, it's training, or oh, it's nutrition, or oh, it's, this exercise or that exercise, or you've got to practice 10,000 hours, or one of those garbage cliche answers that you hear from everybody. And don't you worry, it is a garbage cliche answer, but not the one you might be thinking. The number one thing you need to focus on in order to be successful in your athletic career is the things that you can actually control. I see so many athletes out there, oh, I don't think I have time to make it as an athlete because, I started too late. Well, if you started late, you're started, right? And so if you started, you got two choices: either give up or do everything you can to make the most of your career, even if it's a little more limited. I don't think I'm not going to be able to make it because I don't have good training partners. Fucking move. Find good training partners. Do something about it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to make it because, parents don't believe in me. Cool. Well, it's a good thing that it's not your parents' career and it's your career. So if your parents don't believe in you, stop fucking talking to them about it. Find people who do believe in you. Find people that you believe in. Find a better circle And as you find a better circle, you're going to be able to put yourself in a better position to be successful. Whatever reason you might be throwing. Oh, I can't be successful in my career because, I work a full time job. And so training around a full time job is just, it's too much, it's too hard. Cool. Cut down your hours. Oh, you can't cut down your hours? Cool. Find a new job. Oh, you can't find a new job? Cool. Fucking train around it anyway. Because again, it comes down to a choice. It is always up to you. It is always up to the decisions you make, whether or not you want to be successful at anything you do. I'm going to give you an example from my own life because obviously it's easy to draw from. When I moved to Calgary in July 2017, I moved to a job that paid no money and had zero guaranteed hours. I had a little under $5,000 in the bank, and I thought, I'll move down there for 6 months. I'll learn a couple of things, and then I'll probably have to move back home. And then I walked into the gym that I was working at the first day, and they had 7 coaches that were pursuing PhDs in various aspects of elite performance sport. It was just, to keep this shorter, it was the highest level environment I had ever set foot in. Now, I had 2 choices. I could bitch and complain that it was up to me to find my own clients, and I didn't know how to do that, and it was hard, and it took a lot of time, and I got rejected a lot. Or I could shut up and I could figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. Most of the coaches that were there at the same time as me, or that were starting at the same time as me, took part-time jobs elsewhere so that, they could keep more money coming in. But the way I looked at it, if they called me and said, we have an hour for you and we want you to come coach, I didn't want to have to turn down an hour doing what I wanted to do for an hour working a fucking sport check. So instead of taking a part-time job and making things more comfortable, I doubled down and I spent 363 of the first 365 days that I lived in Calgary in the gym. I got paid $99 my first month, and I was there more than anyone. It took me 10 months to crack a 4-digit monthly paycheck. So that means I was making under $1,000 a month for the first 10 months that I was at that gym. And I was there every single day. I was there shadowing other sessions. I was there covering for any coach that couldn't do a session. I was there asking questions. I was there learning from each and every person in that environment because I wanted to coach, and I knew if I was going to be successful, this was the place I needed to be. And so I did anything and everything I could to put myself in that place so that I could be successful. And this is where a lot of you guys go wrong. A lot of you guys, training around a full-time job is tough. Yeah. But you want to be a millionaire who gets paid to compete in a sport. Life's going to be fucking tough. You know what else is tough? Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to your outdoor roofing job in the middle of fucking winter. I don't even know if they do roofing in the middle of winter, but the whole idea, the main point of that one is that if you are pursuing a passion, if you are pursuing something you actually love, it's not that hard. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of hours. Yeah, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. Yeah, it's going to be hard. But you're working towards a life that 99% of the population will only ever dream of. It's supposed to be hard. So when you're in that position, I don't care where that position has been. One of my favorite quotes ever is, if someone in your situation has done it before, you can do it too. Now, how do you do it? You go back to what we talked about right at the start of this episode. You focus on the things you can actually control. If you're spending your time focused on, it's hard training around a full-time job, guess what? It's not going to be any fucking easier. If you're spending your time focused on, hey, it's hard training around a full-time job, but if I improve my time management skills and stop wasting an hour every night, I can get to bed earlier, which means I can get up earlier, which means I can get my training in at a different time. If you're focused on, oh, these people don't believe in me, Well, instead of spending your time focused around the people that don't believe in you, start spending your time focused on finding people who do. Start spending your time focused on learning how to believe in yourself. Because if you're going to succeed at the highest possible level, guess what? You're going to meet these things called internet trolls. And guess what? They're not nice. They're not going to always believe in you. Everybody is not going to always believe in you. And yeah, it hurts when it's somebody that's closer to you. But you have two choices. You can let that break you, and you can let that person's opinion be the reason you don't pursue what you've wanted to for your whole life. Or you can say, fuck you, and you can go after what you actually want with everything you've got. So let this be the day that you give yourself permission to say fuck you to the people that aren't believing in you, the people that aren't supporting you, the people that aren't giving you what you need, and to give yourself permission to start believing in yourself. Because that is the most powerful thing you can possibly take into an athletic career of any kind. If you believe in yourself and you truly see that you're going to make it to the top, you're going to be successful, you're going to achieve all the things that you have set out to achieve, that is going to be the number one thing that is going to allow you to put yourself in a position to do it. I see a comment coming in saying, yes, so true. Absolutely. There is nothing that is going to be more important than that. And so if you are out there right now and you're dealing with those kinds of people, you're dealing with those kinds of people that talk shit, those kinds of people that are, always trying to drag you down, always trying to, pull you away from these goals and these dreams you have for yourself. This is the moment you need to learn how to say, fuck you, and start believing in yourself instead. It's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes those are people that are close to you. Sometimes those are people that you care about. Sometimes those are people that say they care about you. But you've got a choice to make. Is that person's opinion more important than your lifelong dream? Because if it's not, guess what? Stop focusing on what you can't control. Stop focusing on this person's opinion of you. Stop focusing on what these people are saying about you, and start putting the time and the effort into actually doing the work that is going to help you reach the next level. And I see Cassandra Casey saying, I had to cut people out of my life because they were doing that. Boom. But I bet you feel so much better cutting those people out, as hard as that is to do. If you're allowing those people into your life, you're allowing those people to suck your energy every day, you're not going to be able to put that energy into what you actually want out of life. Super proud of you for that. I know that that's a difficult thing to do, and I'm really hoping that it's going well for you. But back to what we were saying, focusing on what you can control. So you cannot control the opinions of these people. What you can control is who you spend your time with. And if you can control who you spend your time with, and you start spending your time with better people, and you start doing what Cassandra did and cut those people that are doing that to you out of your life, now you're going to put yourself on a better track, and you're going to put yourself in a position that you're going to be successful. So when it comes to seeing success in your athletic career, the biggest thing I want to really drill into you with this episode is that there are always going to be obstacles. There are always going to be people that don't believe in you. There always will be adversity for you to rise above. There are always going to be difficult things that you're going to need to face every single day. And it's not going to get easier. Some people think magically when, they reach that top level, all of a sudden it all gets easier. When you reach that top level, the pressure gets higher. The money gets higher, the stakes get higher. It's not a fun business to be in. It's a fun lifestyle if you're living the lifestyle of a pro athlete, but it's not a fun business to be in. So you need to be prepared from day one, and you need to understand from day one that the focus needs to be on how you can put yourself forward every day. The focus needs to be on what you can control, and the focus needs to be on making sure that you are at your best so that you can succeed when it matters most. Now, of everything we've talked about today, that's going to be the main takeaway that I want you guys to take from this is that you need to put your focus into how you show up. And if you can do that and you can show up with energy, you can show up with passion, you can show up with intensity, and you can show up with the drive to actually succeed, you are going to put yourself in the best possible position. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say if you just show up with energy every single day, you'll conquer the world. But if that energy is in the right place, if that passion is in the right place, if that intensity is in the right place, now you are going to put yourself in the best possible position to take your career as far as you can possibly take it. So that is it. That is all. As we wrap up the show, my one ask of you would be to, again, take into account what I said today. Take into account what is one thing you've been spending your time focusing on that you cannot control, and what is one thing you can do this week to let it go. So I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I am so excited to be talking to you all again tomorrow.